So if you're wondering what the ERT bracket looks like off of the controller, that's what it looks like. In my opinion, this 3D printing material it's not fit to make brackets, you know. it's cracked like through here and here. There's not much holding it on. There's this center section holding it on. That's it. So and it splinters. It goes straight through where the lines are. So it's not a good bracket, man. In the future, I don't know. I'm going to try to glue it this time, but if I break it, I'm just going to make one out of aluminum. I'll make one out of this.
Okay, hey, HadesOmega here at the workshop. So what I got going on right now, this is going to be a separate video from the Heatsink vlog, but or maybe I'll just include it. I don't know. we're probably going to wind up using it, is what I'm thinking. So in the earlier video, I noted that this guy, the top bracket that actually mounts the controller to the bike, is cracked. It's cracked along where the 3D printing is at. So this, rapid prototyping stuff, the 3D printing stuff, it's just not very strong. It's gonna bust off at some point. I thought about gluing it. Gluing it would probably work because it would kind of melt using like plastic cement. It would probably melt the plastic to each other and make it strong again. But I decided I think I'm gonna make a new bracket because I want a thinner bracket so I can shove the controller up in there as much as possible so I can get as much clearance I can from the fender. The fender is the biggest obstruction. Everything else I have plenty of clearance. The wheel, the knobbies on the tires, they will not contact the heatsink at all. In fact, I can let the heatsink hang almost all the way to the ground. But I don't want to do that because it blocks airflow going to the motor. So, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to replace this if I can. It's cool, if I can just repair this, it's cool, but I would rather just make a new bracket. Plus, this kind of works as a heatsink too. It's aluminum, so it has good heat transfer properties compared to plastic, so we're gonna go and make this. So in the last video, we found out that this piece of angle iron here, or angle aluminum, it's a 1/8. It's 1/8 thick, and it's one and a half. It's kind of weird. It doesn't look like 1.5. It's 3. It was 3 feet long. Oh, it's 1.5. 1.5. It's 1.5 inches wide. Okay, so it actually lines up pretty well to it if you look at it right there. So it'll actually be a little shorter, which is what we want. We can make an even shorter version too if we want, but let's just make the full size. All I'm gonna do. Okay, let me get up closer to the camera so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this guy all the way here, and we're just gonna cut off the part that the bracket, where the bracket is right here, and then all we got to do is line up the holes, drill the holes, and then we're done. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. Okay, I think the aluminum will be a lot better material. The aluminum is still a little flexy. It's not too heavy. It's not. It doesn't get it doesn't rust or anything. So it's a good material to make a bracket for the BAC controller. And like I said, it kind of acts like a heatsink also. So that'll add extra heat dissipation capability for the BAC2000. So, all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go trace this, and then we're gonna go lop off what we need. All right. Okay. So here's what I got. So I put this up on there, and then I traced it. So we're gonna go cut this off and cut this. We're just gonna follow we're basically just gonna make an aluminum version of this bracket. That's all. Hopefully that'll do the trick.
The problem is this one might not be enough. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to have enough. We might have to use the JB. We might have to use the Illuma weld again, man, to make this longer. I don't know if we can do it, man. Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll try. So I'm going to go cut this straight off here right now, okay? All right. Okay, so there's the end result. The cut right there, pretty good. Not too bad. I had a little trouble cutting it, but it's still kind of hot. So I'm gonna, so what I'm gonna do is cut these the edges off right now, and then I think I'm gonna call it a night. Yeah. So all we gotta do is cut the edges out, and then start drilling the holes. Hopefully it'll fit. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to extend this with the aluminum weld. Okay. So. Yeah, we may have to extend it a little bit, unfortunately, but we'll see what we can do. All right, or we can just use a washer, like a big, yeah, we could just use a big washer or something. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. All right, so I'm just going to cut the edges off with the cutting wheel. Alright, HadesOmega here, and this is what I got. I think I did a pretty damn good job. So basically, this is it's gonna be shortened just a little bit. So I went and smoothed it out as best as I could. It looks okay. There's a little kind of rough spots and stuff, but that's okay, whatever. It's gonna be kind of, this is actually too long. This part here is shorter, so, but we're just gonna follow this. So I found out drilling it is actually quite easy. All we gotta do, it's symmetrical, so whoop, all we have to do is flip it around like that and then drill the holes. So all I have to do is line all this stuff up, mark it, then drill it, okay? Same thing with the bottom part. Basically, we just go like this, fold it, okay? And so this is going to actually be shorter. It's going to be a little bit shorter. I made it up. I was thinking like, you know what? We can move the holes. We can put the holes like down over here instead, you know, and then we could actually move the controller back even more. But I lined it up to the controller, and it's like a perfect fit. Like, you know, it's not going to look good if you thing it, man. So it's just the right size. 1.5 inches is just right to fit the bracket on there. So it's going to be something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's what it's going to look like, but it's going to have holes, and we're going to bolt it to it. There's going to be a lot of aluminum hanging off of this bad boy. The only thing that from the original bracket is the bottom one. That's the only thing left. And we can even make something for this too, maybe. But anyway, it looks like we're not going to have to extend anything. It's like just the perfect size for it. Okay, so this is actually gonna shorten the bracket a little bit. It's gonna push the bracket inward more. So if you look here, look at the two brackets. This is I guess he made it super thick so it would be stronger, you know. But if we line them both up, this is actually going to be, it's going to be a tad shorter, just a little bit. So we'll gain like a quarter of an inch. Now I'm thinking we could push it in. I would push it in as much as possible so that heatsink gets a thing. So I might experiment. But like I said, it's going to look ugly if I do that. So it's going to be kind of like this, you know. We're going to push it out more. We're going to push it. We could potentially just have it that far out, you know. I don't know how strong it'll be because this is pretty much the part that's holding everything up, you know. And it's going to be heavier with the heatsink now. So you can see it doesn't touch the top of the heatsink. It's perfect. Look at that gap there. Yeah, so we could have it like this, and then we could lop off. Well, we didn't have to lop off anything. We can just push it farther in. So we could do that also. So, oh, it's supposed to be the other way. It's supposed to be this way. Not bad. Yeah, so we can actually do this. We can actually do this, and it'll be sticking out on top of this. It doesn't really matter. We don't even need to cut it. We could just leave it like that. It looks a little funky, but it's fine. We can move it all the way up to here, you know, and that would help push it in a whole lot more. Okay, but we could, but it all depends on where you drill the hole. So we can actually drill more holes. If I want to move it back out, then we can just drill another 3 holes. You know, so you can have choices. So I'm gonna try to shorten it as much as possible. I'm gonna have it like this. Okay. Yeah, maybe a little bit farther back. So it's like in the center somewhere. But the shorter it is, the less stress there's going to be on it too, you know. That's what I think. On the bracket, that is. Yeah. So I think we're gonna go with that first. But I'm gonna call it a night. I will go drill all this tomorrow, and then I think everything should be good to go. We're pretty much 80% there. Once we drill the holes, we're done. I think, and it's all nice and smoothed out. I can actually polish it and make it look shiny, you know. I think I'm gonna leave this part just whatever, you know, but everything else is pretty smooth, and we can shine it up. The good thing is we can shine this up real nice. So you're not really gonna see it anyway. It's gonna be tucked up in there, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so that's how far I've gotten. So I think I'm just gonna. This is gonna be. I'm just gonna add this to the heatsink vlog. That's about 80% done right there. And I used the ERT bracket to as a template for this. So I feel this is a better material, and we're going to shorten it. We're going to move the holes inward so it'll suck the controller up in there. Okay. All right. So I'm done for tonight. I'm going to go drill this tomorrow. That'll be part of the next video. All right, he's back out. This is winding up being a very long project, but I think it'll be worth it, man. Because this thing is not fit for racing the way it is the cooling. All right, he's back out. All right, HadesOmega here. It's the next day, and I've got to make this bracket. I know I worked so long the other day, I just didn't feel like getting back to it today. So this is where we left off yesterday. Basically, all I got to do is drill the holes, and we're done, okay? So I think the first hole we're going to start with is this one right here. The one that goes to the tilt sensor. So basically, like I said, it's symmetrical, so I'm pretty sure we can just flip it around like that and drill the holes, okay? So I'm just going to... I'm going to mount it exactly how it was. So actually, it's actually a little too tall. If after I mount it, it's still, I feel like we don't really need this part sticking out. We can cut this out, okay? Or I can like grind off all this stuff here that looks kind of damaged because when I cut it with the cutting wheel, I can grind a little bit of that off. So that's good. Yeah, I don't know why it has this little kind of indentation here. But I'm just gonna put it flat. That's a good question. Let me go get the controller. Let me go get the controller first. Where does that controller go? let me see what the reason for this is. There must be a reason that's there. So there's the controller. This guy's got to go on top, like so. I believe there is absolutely no reason. Oh, you know what? Let's get the flat one and see if it fits. Oh, you know what it is? It might be the connector. The connector might not fit. We may need to add a washer to this or something, or make some kind of spacer. Okay, hold on. I have a spare harness lying around, and we'll go plug this in real quick. Okay, so before we mount this, I got this spare harness well, not a spare harness, it's a broken harness, okay? It's a broken harness that Alan gave me. It's the harness that came with the NXT display that didn't work, okay? So I'm gonna plug that in, okay, and then we're gonna go put our bracket on here. I thought this, oh, that's why, okay. I understand now. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be a problem. so here's the problem. See, it doesn't fit flush. It's not supposed to be flush because the connectors stick out from the top. That's a bummer. So that's the reason why that's there. Ah, okay. I was like, yeah, why isn't it just flat, you know? No. Wait, it's supposed to be the other way, yeah? This way. Oh, no, it mounts backwards. Yeah, like this. So yeah, that wouldn't work. It's actually supposed to be like that. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. This isn't gonna work unless we add a spacer to it. So we could add a spacer to it, and it would work. Or, what I can do is cut holes into it. It would still be kind of strong. Basically, I think the only thing we have to do is we need to cut a hole or grind it. We need to grind it so the tabs on this, the tabs on the top of this connector here, can go into here. So we got that's two things we can do. We can cut an indentation out so this goes through the bracket, or we can add a spacer to it. Okay. That's what we can do. Or we could just move the bracket all the way back like this. Oh yeah, that might actually work. That might actually work better. Because I think that's what we were going to do in the first place. Yeah, actually let's just do that instead. So this is flat here. We'll drill the holes like this. Exactly like that. I'll keep the connectors there, and then we'll figure out where we got to put the holes so it'll line up. So because I was planning to make it shorter anyways, so the controller will go inside the cavity where it mounts more, so we get more clearance for the heatsink. So I'm gonna go mate it up to the bike real quick and see how all the fitment is. So now I know why. So now we know why this is here. This little indentation here. That's so it clears this. Okay, but it won't be a big deal if we put it like this. So yeah. I was planning to do something like this anyway, and this doesn't interfere with the heatsink in any way too. So that's good. All right, so I think we're still on track here. All right, let me go take a look at it. So I test fitted it just now, and sorry I didn't show that part, but you guys will probably see it when I put this in. So the cables are kind of like this on the back of the controller. So what I might want to slot it a little bit, just so this isn't like bent so much like this. But the wires kind of sit like this behind the wall, behind the controller. So you don't want to put too much stress on the wires. But I think it's okay. I took one of these connectors apart, and it's a really nice connector. I don't think it's going to mess the wiring up at all. So I think it's okay. I'm going to try it. So it's going to be like that. Okay? And it's going to be sucked all the way up in there. So now I kind of know why it's kind of far away from it, But yeah, so this is how it sits in there. And it's going to be really close to the wall, the battery wall. So we'll see if this new one works. If it doesn't work, then we'll just, we can drill different holes in it, we can drill different holes, and or we can slot it like I mentioned earlier. Just cut like a little hole right here, and right here, so it'll fit through the connector things right here. So I know. I thought it was going to be really easy. Like, oh yeah, we can just put it on there flat, but it's not going to fit with the connectors on there. So, okay, so that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes for this part so we can mount it onto here. Or actually, let's drill this part first. This is the easy one. Let's do this first, and then yeah. I would think we would want to mount it higher. Yeah, the higher the better, I think. All right. And I noticed this kind of gets in the way of the horn too, because I have to kind of like shoehorn it behind the wires on the horn. So maybe I might want to shave this a little bit. I want to shave it like a millimeter or two off, because it's kind of ugly looking anyway. So okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and drill this just like that. I'm just gonna line up 2 like so. Line up the 2 like so. So a lot of thought in the engineering of this plastic bracket comes into play. Now I understand why it was built like that. Okay, so alright, so I'm just gonna mark those and drill it. That looks like maybe like a 1/4 inch drill bit. Alright. Okay, HadesOmega here. So this is how I mark the holes to mark the holes to drill. I put it on a flat surface, so I used the table for my drill press here. I kept on flat there, and then I punched it with the spring-loaded punch. Okay, so it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit off, but I think it should be fine. Yeah, I kind of feel like, I mean, it's all lined up. I feel like the holes are too far inward. So I might want to punch to the right a little bit. So basically I want to expand it. So what I'm going to do is like kind of dimple this at an angle. Oh my god. Okay. This one too. So you see how it just shifted the holes to the right a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go start this with the step bit, and then I'll probably put it to the bigger one after I get it through the hole. Okay, here we go. The reason why I don't put this over here, because there's this little rib thingy here that gets in the way. So. Okay, so here's the 2. I hope I told it right. I'm going to try to line it up. It looks pretty damn close. If anything, we just make the hole a little bit bigger. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much right on the money. Good job. Good job, HadesOmega. You did a good job drilling that. Sometimes I impress myself. That was a real precision drilling dealie right there. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the bolts. I'm gonna get a bolt and try to stick it through there. Okay, no dice. We may want to go up one more size. I think it might be okay. I think it's okay to have it a little bit bigger, as long as this doesn't go in there. So I'm gonna go to the next step, and then after that we'll just bust out a drill bit. Or You know what? We're pretty close. I think I should just get a drill bit out.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's pretty close to a 1/4 inch. It's actually a 1/4 inch is a little bit too big, but that's okay if it's a little big. It's probably going to be bigger than that too when we drill it. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and change out the bit real quick. New 1/4 inch bit, by the way. That's why I wanted to use it. Okay, I think I've done it. So here we go. It's actually supposed to go from the other side, but the burrs are still on the other side. So, boom, fits perfectly. Great. A little bit of play here and there, but that's okay. That's a good thing. That way it mates up perfectly. So let's go put it right next to this guy here. It looks good. It looks good. Yeah, it's pretty close. Okay. Pretty good. You can see most of the way through it. But it's okay. The hole's a little bit bigger, so we got some room for play. Okay, so now I just gotta... So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to clean out these holes. This one looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of a burrs here, but we'll clean this up, and then I'm going to go shave this flat. I want to try to get rid of this this mark I made with the cutting wheel. If you remember correctly, this is actually too tall. This is too tall compared to this one. So we don't really need it to be that tall. It actually sticks out on top, see? So I'm going to go ahead and shave maybe like half of it off. Okay? Alright. Oh yeah, and bad Hades Omega, you weren't wearing safety glasses when you were doing that. Whoops! Oh well, it's okay. It's not that big a deal, but it's, you know, a piece of aluminum could have flown off and gone to my eyes maybe, but I kind of doubt it, but could happen. Yeah, I'm going to deburr this with this kind of countersink, I think is what they call it. It's not long enough. I need an extension for this. Hold on. Okay, so there it is. I smoothed out the top, or I grinded some of it off, like a millimeter or two, and then I'm gonna go clean this up with the Dremel. Okay. Okay, there we go. So it's nice and smooth now. I might go polish it later. Who knows? You know, it's just kind of sucked up in there anyways. I don't think you're really going to see it. I kind of scratched the back pretty bad when I worked the grinder on this. So, but that's okay. This is going to be, you're not going to see this at all. Okay, so the two holes are done here, and I've grinded this. I've shaved this down a little bit so it looks nicer. And then now we got to go figure out. So this is the most critical part: where to drill the 3 holes. Okay. Okay, let me go get the dealie.